And welcome to Business News. These are tough times for Nigerians living in Nigeria. Aside having to bleed through their noses to buy food items, they also have to sweat before they can afford cooking gas needed to prepare their meals. The price of gas has risen astronomically that many Nigerians can no longer afford it and have resorted to alternatives like firewood, charcoal and sawdust. Many fear that if the government does not intervene, a 12.5 kg cylinder of gas would be sold for as high as 10,000 and above. There is more in this report.
Petroleum gas report in September, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency stated that of the 85,000 MT supplied, 51,000 MT were sourced locally, representing 60.95%, while 33,000 MT representing 39.05% was imported. Despite Nigeria sitting on one of the largest reserves in the world, the country still depends largely on imported gas. This has been blamed on the devaluation of the naira against major currencies and the introduction of value-added tax of 7.5% on imported gas. The Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria believes this has negatively affected the nation's economy, causing a 100% increase in the price of cooking gas. The impact on households is worrying, with refill of a 12.5 kg, which was 4,500 naira at the beginning of the year, now skyrocketing to the current varying price of 8,750 and 10,000 naira.
We always want it exotic. We will import toothpicks, and you need dollars to import toothpicks. So, and when you do that, and you don't produce anything, what do you expect? You have to be sincere. What do you expect? You keep importing, you don't produce anything, and you keep saying, why are you devaluing? Are you not the person who is responsible for it? Those of you who keep asking for dollars for those things that we can have here in Nigeria. But when tomorrow he is to sit down to talk, he will say, why are you devaluing? Check him. He's the chief devaluer.
The high prices of LPG has caused households to shift their attention back to firewood and charcoal, thus fueling desertification and erosion with a very negative impact on the environment. They recommend a package of new incentives which should be introduced to stimulate investment, processing and utilization of LPG in Nigeria in line with the nation's decade of gas agenda. Other issues raised is the increase in the cost of food items, which they tie to insecurity as farmers are being displaced from their farmlands by bandits, and also inconsistent government policies. Habib Alawal, TVC News, Abuja.
Also joining me to discuss this is Public Affairs Analyst Ambrose Igboke. Thank you very much for joining us at this point. 12.5 kg of gas is selling for 9,000, some places 10,000, and other places a bit higher. How do you see this development when, and we're coming from a place where cooking gas 12.5 kg used to sell for about 3,500 naira, and now some places about 10,000 naira?
Well, I must say this is very shocking. It reminds me of between January 1984 and sometimes of 1985, where we have the austerity measures. And coincidentally, the person in charge then is still the person in charge now. So we are back to austerity measures, but it doesn't get the name. Because how can Nigeria be a signatory to the climate change agreements all over the world, where we are trying to cut, greenhouse emissions? Then at the same time, we cannot provide that alternative. We want people to leave firewood. We want people to leave, the burning of fossil fuel or something that contributes to the depletion of the ozone layer. So the alternative is to provide cooking alternatives like the LPG gas and some other alternatives that are friendly. But Nigeria, as we are moving gas at the end of, by this time last year was 2,800 naira for 12.5 kg. 11 months down the line, it's expected for almost 500% increase. So that shows that we are taking one step forward and 10 steps backwards. And that is because we have left everything and dependence on imports. Even the things we can produce, we have gas flaring. We can no longer do gas flaring. We can no longer get gas LPG too easily. We bottle gas and send overseas. We get electricity, we send overseas. We collect our food, our oil, we send it overseas, and then we reimport these things as refined products. Yes, we are borrowing heavily from China. We are borrowing from everywhere. So, of course, inflation will set in. And what we have now is not just inflation. We are tilting towards hyperinflation.
Wow.
And it's our naira, as at this time last year, we were still battling between 380, 400, 360. Now we are battling with 450, vacillating between 450, 550. So it is a very, very dangerous situation.
Yes, I quite agree with you, Ambrose. It's quite a very dangerous situation. But at this point that we are, there's a threat that this will go far higher in the coming days and weeks, especially because of the Yuletide. Now, what can be done to further reduce this? Because, like we always say in Nigeria, what goes up never comes down.
Well, for the optimist time, when I say this thing, sometimes on national TV like this, or when we're having discourse, there are things will get worse because we don't have any concrete plan to reverse the economic trends. We don't have any economic tools to reverse this trend. Therefore, we are still floating. Tell me one economic policy that is aimed at reversing this. None. We are still, our refineries are still comatose. We're exporting crude oil. We're importing everything importable. To shut off government revenue, we are overtaxing the people. There's a report that came out 2 weeks ago about investment friendly, the top 10 investment friendly nations in Africa. Some years back, Nigeria was free. Now Nigeria is not between 1 to 10. So what FDIs, dollars is not come. The only dollars Nigeria is earning now is pay out diaspora remittances by Nigerians living in overseas. So any country that cannot export. Remember the days of when we are having automobiles, PAN, Anamco, the Volkswagen plant. We are exporting cars. Remember the days of Delta State Company, Ajakuta, we are exporting steel. There was a time we were exporting textile. These are things that give us the revenue in foreign currencies.
All right.
But we don't have any. So it will be good we get higher. We are hearing that they're going to do a fuel increase in the top price. So if that happens, electricity tariff is going up, these are the means of production. So it continues to go high and skyrocket.
All right, Ambrose, thank you so much for talking to us on this development. Thank you so much.